Good morning. Welcome to the Pop Culture Club. My name is Megan Novi, and I'm your host today. Happy Friday. We made it. It's been a rough week. Rain. Just rain. I hate rain. I like it when I'm inside. Tried to go out one day. It was not good. Getting to pop up. Okay. We got new music today. I have some Chapel Roan the Giver going. We have new music from Chapel Roan. We have the Benny Blanco Selena Gomez album that's out. We have Haim has a new song. Lil Nas has new music. It is a good day for a new music Friday. So I'll be adding some songs to the playlist. I just did my hair, sorry. I haven't been feeling great, so fake it till you make it. Try to look good so I will feel good today. Hopefully that works. Yeah. I was watching Southern Charm. I just finished that. I had to wait to see if JT called his barber. If you watch Southern Charm, you'll know that's important. And he did call the barber. So, yay. I'm glad I waited. Not a big fan of JT. But the season is kind of weird. It's like they're making me feel bad for him. Did I not curl this piece? Okay. I'll throw that back there. Okay. All right. Yeah, Southern Charm. It's kind of weird this season how it's like all this he said, she said stuff. Everyone's kind of going after JT, but I really think that they should have been narrowing in more on like the Craig of it all and the Shep. They did a good job with the Shep stuff, but like, oh, Craig is a piece of work. So we'll go into that with the Summer House recap too. This week I have been into that show, Shooting Point with Kate Hudson and a Mindy Kaling joint. She's not in it, but she wrote it, and it's super cute. I don't know why I waited. Well, I know why I waited so long because I wanted to wait until I had a second to like sit and watch it. A lot of Mindy Kaling shows have like inside jokes and pop culture references, and I really like those like deep cuts. So I like to fully watch those. My Housewives, my reality. I can scroll, I can do work, I can cook dinner while I watch those. But with these like with Mindy Kaling, respect. You got to give it the respect it deserves. But it was so cute. Highly recommend Kate Hudson. She um you know, you can't go wrong with Kate Hudson. I love how once she gets the job, her suits like she goes in and wearing these like big oversized suits, and every episode it's like a new like hot pink suit or like cream suit. And one like time Brenda Song made a joke about like the assistant eating Cheetos, and it's like she's a white blonde lady, she stains easily, and I fully get that. Just like with hot Cheetos, my fingers always have like red stains on the end. I was so surprised to see Chet Hanks is in it. I have heard of Chet Hanks in a like Z-Way interview way. I've heard of him like his Jamaican accent on the red carpet. I didn't know that Chet Hanks was like an actor. And so I thought he was just gonna be like in the first episode. I listened to Keep It, and Brenda Song had mentioned that he was Chet Hanks is like so, he's himself, but he's like cool. And I was like, Chet Hanks, okay. And then it like didn't register. I saw him in it. I was like, Chet Hanks is actually an actor, and I, like, looked a little bit. He was in Shameless, and I saw a screen grab of him and the guy, Carmy from, The Bear, and they were in that together, and I had no idea he was actually, like, an actor, and he is Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson's son. Not the same mom as Colin Hanks, different mother, um, but yeah, Chet Hanks, that's wild that he's an actor. He does a good job too. I thought he did a really good job. But if you haven't watched Chet Hanks on the Z-Way interview, um, go watch that. He also started the White Boy Summer in 2022, I think. Um, yeah, Chet Hanks. Look at him. Look at him go. Brenda Song is in it. I have been a Brenda Song fan since probably The Ultimate Christmas Wish. Um, Let me know if you can think of something from before that she was in. Um, I'm trying to think, but oh my gosh, I could do a full Brenda Song. Like, I could just name she did Get a Clue. She was in The Social Network. She was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She was not in, um, that book turned into a movie, and she auditioned for it, John Chu. Oh my gosh, what's that Crazy Rich Asians. She was not in Crazy Rich Asians. She was not allowed to audition for that. Um, but I love Brenda Song. I love that she's in this. She's with Macaulay Culkin. They look so happy. Go Brenda Song. This is, like, the perfect, fit for her. There was also a lot of Parks and Recs alum in it. Jerry Gergich, Jeremy Jam, um, were both in it, and Justin Theroux was in it, and he was in Parks and Rec too. So I love all the little Parks and Recs people coming back and popping up in these shows. I love Parks and Rec. That used to be one of my sleep shows where, you fall asleep to it, and then at like 2 in the morning, you have the theme song like blaring at you. Um, Now I have kids blaring at me, so I don't need Parks and Rec to do that for me anymore. Mindy Kaling, I just have to say I love Mindy Kaling shows. I love her writing. I could always tell when she does it, when she's, like, writing stuff, I could totally hear her voice, and she's kind of like a Lady Gaga for me, where when I watch her shows and I see the references, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, me and Mindy Kaling watched the same thing," or "Me and Mindy Kaling both were obsessed with that thing in pop culture," and it's like a warm blanket of, like, other people like the same thing and you're not alone in your thoughts. And they like it so much that they put it on a TV show and everyone else watches it. So it can't be that niche. These like references that I recognize and other people do. So it's kind of comforting to know I'm not alone in my thoughts or what I pick up on in pop culture. Um, for example, she did a Frasier reference. Like me and my husband still to this day watch Frasier, um, probably every day, once a day. My husband watches it more, but yeah, like I the fact that Mindy Kaling can like seamlessly put in a Frasier reference, I love. I'm gonna go through more. I'm only halfway through. No spoilers, please. Is Kate Hudson gonna get with um Jay Brown, the coach? Like with Jay Ellis, his name in real life. I talked about him last week. Like, is she gonna get one? I don't know, but I'm excited to see what happens with that, um, and, yeah, I don't know, because she's also with a guy from New Girl, Schmidt, so it's like, that is a little bit a love triangle thing going on, and I hope that starts to well, I don't know if I want it to go through if I want that to happen. I don't know, but I just wanna see how it happens. When I finish, I will go through more of a deep dive. I didn't wanna go on IMDb and, like, look at everyone yet because I didn't want any spoilers, if there's any, like, guest stars. I've been really enjoying to see who pops up. The girl from Mad TV and Scrubs was on the last episode as Chet Hanks's mom, and so I'm excited to see, like, who pops up. So I'm not gonna IMDb yet, but when I finish, I will definitely go on a deep dive and let you know some of the characters that I saw, what else they've been, in. I'm still trying to figure out what one of the brothers is from, not the one from the other 2, not Justin Theroux, but that other guy. I can't put my finger on what he's from, but I'm gonna wait till the end to look it up to see if it, like, comes to me. Um, yeah, I love these Netflix shows. Like, this kinda reminds me of a Nobody Wants This, where we have these, like, actors that we love with, like, a nice, easy, like, light show that's just, like, funny and, I don't know, keep going with these Netflix because I like them. It's almost like an extended romantic comedy, like a slow almost like a slow burn romantic comedy, especially if this, like, Kate Hudson, Jay Ellis thing, like, goes on, or even just a comedy, but I like the slow burn of it where you can get to know the characters, and so you really, like, understand them by the end, Whereas, like, a movie, you only have them for that short window, and you have to kinda put a little conjecture into, what they're thinking, and everyone has a different opinion, and I don't know, I might be rambling, but that's just how I feel about these Netflix shows. I really, really like them. Um, like I said, New Music Friday, Selena Blanco, may as well be Selena Blanco, I kinda like that. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco have their new album out. Their first single was with, Grace I don't know yeah, with Gracie Abrams, Call Me When You Break Up With Your Girlfriend. I think I'm just, mixing Ariana Grande with that one. Their song is called Call Me When You Break Up With Your Girlfriend. Break up with your girlfriend. It sounded like that Selena Gomez one. Um, so that's the one that I was listening to, and then they have their new one that just came out, and, Sunset Boulevard, their new music video. I just watched clips. I haven't watched it all. It looks a little weird. It's supposed to be based on um, a movie, and I looked it up at, like, 11 o'clock last night, and I can't remember the movie, but it was, like, weird, and I think she's eating him in it. I think she's eating him. Um, and they have this weird shtick, and it almost kind of feels like a Beauty and the Beast kinda thing, Selena Gomez being the beauty, and you can take the rest from there. But they're kinda playing into that, like, she's this beautiful girl and she's big, and then from what I saw, Benny Blanco was this tiny little guy in, like, the corner, and she would, like, have these big heels. I have to go watch the full music video, I wasn't in the mental space to watch it last night, but from what I saw, we'll see. We'll see. I will give it a full listen and full try before I give my opinion. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Chapel Roan's The Giver. It's just a single, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a single. She's been doing her lead up to it where she's been dressing up like uh service workers, a plumber, a dentist, and listen to the lyrics. It's a fun song. I said Sunset Boulevard. Relationships by Haim is the new single that's out for them. I'm gonna add that to the list. And then Hotbox by Lil Nas X is what I'm showing for New Music Friday. I'm gonna add those to the Pop Culture Club playlist on Spotify. You can listen along to all of the music that I talk about on the show. And like I said, we'll see if any of these are contenders for the song of summer. Um, if you have any suggestions for Song of Summer that have come out so far that I haven't gotten to, go ahead and drop them in the comment, and I will add them to the playlist because, yeah, I'm always down to listen to some new stuff. Some news. Let's see. Some uh tabloid news, I guess you would say, Us Weekly, just maybe tidbits of news that I went through this week. I wanted to fill you guys in on. Kristen Cavallari did an interview on a podcast with Talon from Laguna Beach. Kristen Cavallari was in Laguna Beach. She was in the second season. It revolved around her. Then she moved on and kind of did her own thing, made a career for herself. Um, married Jay Cutler, did a cookbook, and then did a show called Very Cavallari. I've watched every episode of that. If you ever want to talk about Very Cavallari, I'm all ears. I'm always ready to talk about it, especially Shannon Ford. If you know, you know. Um, but she was on her podcast talking with Talon about how I guess Talon I remember this a long time ago back in those days when all the Laguna Beach people infiltrated the young Hollywood parties. Steven, Talon, Jason Waller, all these guys were just like out in LA trying to get with like the Paris Hiltons, the Lindsay Lohans. And so Talon and Lindsay Lohan were an item. I remember that. And they were talking about how um sorry, I didn't want to cough in the mic. They're talking about how Lindsay Lohan showed up at the hotel and Kristen Cavallari and Talon were in a bed together, and Kristen was like, "Nothing was happening. We were just friends. Nothing was happening." And that's totally Kristen Cavallari's thing. Like, I don't know her in real life, but Kristen Cavallari hasn't always given the vibes that she's a girl's girl, and so for her, it's like, I mean, I wasn't doing anything. It's not my fault that your boyfriend wants to be in a bed with me. And that was like kind of the attitude that it's giving. It's like he's been my friend first. And so we're going to be in a bed together and I don't care about you. And so I could definitely see why Lindsay Lohan would be pissed. Just because she's an actress doesn't mean that she's going to be okay with you with uh the D-list celebrity star that she's dating being with you in a bed with you. So I could see why she was mad, but they were kinda, joking around about it and, just, I guess, reminiscing but it kind of felt like it was at Lindsay Lohan's expense, and we're not gonna come for Lindsay Lohan. It's not Lindsay Lohan, trash talk time. It's not Pitbull circa 2009. I think that's when he talked about her in that song. Um, yeah, I'm just not here for the Lindsay Lohan hate, but interesting tidbit that came out of that article, and I'm glad I read it because Kristen Cavallari is filming her podcast tour right now, and she's on the road filming it, and it's gonna be a show called, um, something Cavallari. Not very Cavallari, exposed Cavallari, something along those lines. It comes out in June, and I will be watching that one because Kristen Cavallari is like a reality show or a Cavallari show is like a almost like a hate watch, a guilty pleasure. You I don't aspire to be her, but I just wanna, you know, that people who if you're watching this and you're enjoying, you know what I mean. Um, Another thing I saw is that Verde, the, Colleen Hoover, the next Coho book that's gonna be made, hopefully it doesn't have as much drama as It Ends With Us, but Verde is being made into a movie with Josh Hartnett, Anne Hathaway, and Dakota Fanning, and I'm so excited because I really like that book. I didn't read It Ends With Us because, I um the topic. I just wasn't really in a place to read that, and me and movies, I've said it before, I'm really bad with watching movies, but Verde was a good book. Eh, don't I'm not gonna say what it's about because if you see the movie, don't, like, get spoilers. It's worth it to not get spoilers. But, yeah, Dakota Fanning and Josh Hartnett were out in New York seeing filming, and Dakota Fanning had blood all over her face, and if you've read Verity, you know why Dakota Fanning would have blood all over her face. So I'm Dakota Fanning. Yeah. No, Dakota Johnson, Don Johnson and Melly Griffith's daughter. Sorry, not Dakota Fanning. Dakota Johnson, blood all over her face in New York. If you've read the book, you know why. So I'm very excited for that movie to come out. Um, and then another thing that has, been popping up on the internet, and I don't know why it's not front page news, but this whole Bill Burr, Billy Corrigan thing. I'm gonna go back if you guys don't know. Bill Burr is the redheaded comedian from, uh the redheaded comedian. I don't know what he's from, but he has been in a bunch of things. He's a stand-up, Irish, loudmouth. If you follow comedy, you know him. Anyways, then there's Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. And Billy Corgan, his dad was a musician and he would travel around. And he his dad had a secret family, and that family is Bill Burr's family. And he named both kids Bill. He named both kids Bill. The dad named both kids Bill. That's not good. Um, Bill and Billy, I mean. Okay, so let's move forward. Oh, Billy Corgan is from the Smashing Pumpkins. If you don't know Smashing Pumpkins, Rat in a Cage. Um, they did the cover of the, Stevie Nicks song, Landslide. If you grew up in Southern California, you heard them on K-Rock every single day. Um, Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan. So they were on Bill Burr was on the Howie Mandel show, shooting the shit, talking. Then all of a sudden, Billy Corgan walks in and Bill Burr is pissed. At first, I thought it was a bit. The comments on TikTok were like, "This is a bit." It I don't think it was a bit. Bill Burr was livid and was just like, "No, why are we doing this? Like, no." And then Billy Corgan is standing there like, "I thought that this was okay. I thought I he said it was okay." And it's reminding me of a movie. Like, now that I'm talking about it, I can't think of what movie, but if I think about it, I'll come back and tell you. Oh my gosh, where he's just like, "Oh, I thought it he said it was okay." Oh my gosh. I can, like, see it. Oh. And, and he's like, "No, it's not okay." Oh my gosh. I'm, like, seeing okay, anyways. So he comes up and he's like, "I thought he said it was okay." He's like, "No, it's not okay." And then finally, like, it's like, "Fuck it, whatever, whatever." And Howie Mandel is just, like, playing dumb, being shady Howie Mandel, and yeah, and so they kinda, like, talked about it for a little bit and kinda confirmed it on the show, and it's just crazy. Like, that is a crazy story, one of those crazy pop culture stories that, like, I love. It goes through all these genres, the comedy genre, the '90s grunge genre, meeting together. I love it. It's one of the things I love about pop culture is when, like, it all comes into this, like, crazy story. And I have another one next week I'm gonna talk about with, Wendy Williams, and it's the Wendy Williams and the Mighty Ducks. So, stay tuned for that one next week. That's gonna be a crazy, like, pop culture mashup, story. But yeah, Bill Burr and Billy Corgan. If you look at their pictures, if you go look, you will be able to see they do look very similar. They have that pale, very pale skin, that same kind of face. They even talk a little they have I don't know, Bill Burr has, like, a big, uh, Boston accent, but yeah, that's that's crazy. Um, if you hear any more, if you guys know any further details, drop a comment. I will be covering this more if anything else comes up. But yeah. Um, Another thing that came up is that Lisa Vanderpump is going to be opening a Vegas hotel. I am so excited. It was bound to happen because her and Ken are just like restaurateurs, and Nick Elaine, oh my gosh, I hope Nick Elaine is involved with the design of the hotel. He has to be, right? He's done her I know he's done her most recent ones. I'm pretty sure he did Wolf. He has to do the hotel. Oh my gosh, I'm dying to see what they put together because I love a Lisa Vanderpump restaurant. You think, "Oh, it's like this Vanderpump." Full disclosure, I've only been to 2. I've been to her Vegas one, which was really good. They make the drinks strong. They say it on the show. They do make the drinks strong, and they do. Um, it's not about the food, it's not about the taste, it's about the experience, and Lisa Vanderpump knows how to give you that experience where you walk into a restaurant and you're just, like, looking at everything on the walls. I used to work at TGI Fridays, and we used to have knickknacks all over the walls, and people had things to look at while they waited for their food, and then they weren't so crabby about waiting for their food. Now it's just a blank wall. You're making people stare at this blank look like this. People are eating, like, at restaurants that have this, like, blank wall, and they're staring at it, and they don't wanna have to make conversation with just the person they're looking at, so then they go to their phone. And maybe if there was more, like, knickknacks, some Snicker snackers up on the wall, um, people would have a better experience, and I think Lisa Vanderpump is, keen to that, and she does that with her restaurants. That's my diet tribe on the Lisa Vanderpump, knickknacks on her walls and decor, and Nick Elaine. Very excited. It's gonna be at the Cromwell, which is where Giada's restaurant is, and it's very good. That is a very good hotel spot. Prime real estate, right in the middle of the strip. Cute hotel. It's not like this big friggin' like Wynn or like this massive property. It is like I think she's gonna kinda take that, like, boutique hotel vibe that Cromwell kinda has and keep it going. Um, Perfect spot for her. It's set to open 2026. I will be there, maybe not at the opening, maybe not a year after the opening, but I will get there. Bucket list, is to stay at the Lisa Vanderpump Hotel and then go down and, have lunch or dinner at Giada's because that place is delicious as well. Um, yeah, go Lisa Vanderpump. Um, I'm not a fan of her, like, opinions. She always takes the guy side. She was a Tom sympathizer. She was a, James sympathizer. She was a Jack sympathizer. So, like, let's get on the right side of history as we're embarking on this new venture, LVP, and make a show about it because I wanna see your Vegas, servers. I wanna see what they do. Your Vegas servers. Okay, now we've reached that time. We're gonna go over all of the Housewives Bravo reality shows, that I have been watching this week. We will start with Beverly Hills, since we just talked about Lisa Vanderpump. Let's go with that. I don't really have notes. I'm just gonna kinda go off the cuff this morning. It's Friday. Yeah. So Kyle and Mo, Kyle and Mauricio. I just Kyle wants doesn't want the separation, doesn't want the divorce, but she doesn't want it to be her choice. She doesn't wanna be vulnerable, I think, and say that, "I don't want this divorce." She wants Mauricio to fight for her, but Mauricio is clueless. He's out. He's been checked out for a while, and I think she tried to make him jealous, and it didn't work, and now it's backfiring, and Mauricio is like, "Yeah, we're separated. I'm sorry that that picture came out, but I'm not sorry for what I did," is essentially what he's saying. He's saying, "Sorry, not sorry," Demi Lovato. And yeah, it's just these awkward scenes. I feel like they keep happening and they keep and maybe it's just trying to show us that Kyle is really like dragging her feet and this is her life. She keeps going in these circles with this conversation. We're supposed to be living Kyle Richards' life, which I don't want to do. And yeah, but she needs to move on. She needs to figure out what she wants instead of waiting for Mo to figure out what he wants. And that segues us into Dorit and PK, and that's a whole different situation. PK is just like he's playing games with Dorit. He's trying to figure out as much information as he can out of her so he can try to use it against her. And then he will be nice on camera and be like, "No, I don't that email, I don't want it to be what we get to." But it's kind of like a threat being like, "Don't make it have to get there." And I don't like threats, PK. Paul Kemsley. He's just shady, and he's crying about, "Look at me, I'm so humble, I'm living in this apartment," and it's like, "Okay, you're not living in some, like, studio apartment, in the valley. Please, you're not." Like, he's trying to make it feel so sorry fake make us all feel so bad for him and make it seem like Dorit is this controlling woman when, like, she has 2 kids. People forget she has 2 small kids, and PK's getting this random apartment, and Dorit's like, "I don't want you taking my kids to I wanna know the apartment that they're gonna be at. Can you just tell me so I know?" And he's like, "Well, you're trying to control. You just wanna know the apartment so I can change it, blah, blah, blah." That's, like, kind of what he's getting at, and she's like, "No," and it's infuriating. I just want Dorit to, like, watch it back, Put put some put some heels on and stomp on PK. I don't know. Get a lawyer, get the best lawyer in LA and just, like, go after him. Send him across the pond and Yeah, be done with him because you could do so much better, Dorit. You definitely could. And this is just way random. I was typing notes out the other day and I tried to type Dorit and it auto changed to Doris. And I've never heard the name Dorit before I started watching Beverly Hills. And I always wonder, and Dorit sounds so um like ethnically ambiguous of a name. Like, where did that name come from? And she is a very ethnically ambiguous character who knows all these languages and has these accents. And I thought in my head, what if Dorit's name was Doris? And then she accidentally it like autocorrected for her to Dorit. And she was like, oh, I kind of like Dorit and just kept it. I thought that would be funny. That was a random story that happened to me. Let's see who else we got. Bose. I like Bose. But when your daughter has to be asking the questions to your boyfriend and you're already calling doctors to have a baby, that's not good. Like, I think that if she wants to have a baby with this guy and they're dating and they want to get serious, but she has a time limit on, having kids, have the kids whenever you want to have the kids. That's not my thing, but I think you have to be um willing to talk to your partner and say, when are we going to move in together? What is your timeline? What These are all important questions to have when you're going to have a baby. What house are we going to stay at? When are we going to get married? What is the timeline? How many kids do you want? And Bose didn't ask any of those questions. Her daughter did. And then she's like, I'm so proud of my daughter. It's like, you're proud of her. Yeah, you should be because she knows the questions to ask. That's great. But why aren't you asking them? You need to be that role model to her. And when I do these recaps, it's all in fun. I don't think I could do better. It's easy to judge from afar. So take it light. I'm not trying to say that I'm a perfect person. I'm not. I just want to preface that because it's just a show. I'm not taking them in I'm taking the characters as, like, characters on a show, um, and not hopefully I don't wanna hurt obviously, Bose isn't watching. Bozeman isn't watching this. She's not gonna get her feelings hurt because I said that her daughter okay, whatever, I'm gonna keep going, but I just want you guys to know that. Um, so, yeah, it's just weird. I think it's weird, and she should have been having those conversations. I don't know if this guy's right. He wants these kids so bad, but it doesn't seem like he's willing to put, like, his part in, and even the very last question was, "What's your time frame? What do you think for getting married?" And he's like, "Well, Bose is a great woman and da 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 da." And I forgot the question. You know the question. You said you forgot the question because it was a test to see if they would follow up and repeat it and if you had to answer it or if what you said just sufficed. I know your tricks, bro. I know your tricks. We'll see what happens with that. But I love Bose's daughter. She's really sweet. She seems really, like, mature, and I really like her. Erica Jane did the grand reveal of her new place. Cool. They're getting ready for their trip. I had mentioned like, when I had just briefly watched that Bose was like, "Oh, this trip is not gonna have any drama." They get there and there's, like, the room situation. I'm always waiting to see if the room situation is gonna be an ordeal, and they have Sutton and Jennifer Tilly sleeping in the same bed together. I'm not saying that in, like, a weird, like, "Ooh" way, but, like, I don't see Sutton as a bed-sharing friend. She brags about her money, her stacks on stacks on stacks. Like, she's not a bed sharing person. So I see Jennifer Tilly as a bed sharing person for sure. She's just like, I feel like she's just get me a bed and I'm good. Maybe a cute little sleep mask, but Sutton, that was weird. We'll see how that goes. And Sutton and Dorit are just not on the same page. It's awkward. Dorit is like doing this like Sutton impression, and Sutton is just like Garcelle is, like, has the eyes, and, like, I honestly, I can't really follow the threat. I get why Dorit and Sutton are, like, clashing because they're just taking jabs at each other, but then it's starting to get into, like, this Sutton is like, "Kyle's not my friend, she's good friends with Dorit," and then Garcelle is like, "Well, she needs to." I don't know what is going on. It's hard for me to follow the plot this season as to, like, what the broad story is, and I guess it's just the divorces and I don't know, and I don't really know where Sutton, like, it feels like Sutton's trying to, like, fit into this story of Kyle and Dorit and all that stuff and trying to, like, get a storyline, but I don't know. It's it's hard. It's hard to follow. Summer House, on the other hand, is not hard to follow. I mean, it might be if you don't watch it, but, I'm loving it. So, they were at the beach, Paige and Kyle made up, and, Paige and Kyle have been friends for a long time, and Paige and Amanda have been friends for a long time. So, I can see Paige being like, "I don't want this to affect my friendship." And then she kinda made some comments that, like, Craig so, a little backstory, I think I went over this. Paige and Craig are dating. Craig is from Southern Charm. Kyle is on Summer House, and Kyle has his own alcohol line, Loverboy. I did talk about this because I said, "I want Loverboy, I wanna try it." So, we got their whole battle of the cocktails, battle of the bevs, and Paige is in the middle of it. So, Paige tells Kyle, or maybe she tells it in the interview later, I didn't want Craig to do this. I told him not to do this. I told him not to, like, partner with the other spritz company, and he just, like, he did it, and it just, like, Craig. Craig. He's just s he does what he wants, and then when people and then gets mad about the reaction to it, and that's how I feel about Craig, and he, like, always does what he wants and always wants it his way, and so I think that Kyle didn't give him the answer that he wanted, and he wanted to go do something and show him like, "Well, I can do it too," and he went and found us a brand and he invested in it. So I thought that was kind of weird that Paige like mentioned, I didn't want him to do this. Um, I thought that was telling. So they make up. I thought that they had a good talk and they both like aired out their stuff. Kyle is a good apologizer, which is why he's still around with all the stuff that he's done, is because, he goes crazy, but he can apologize and I guess smooth things over, which is what he did with Paige. And so that was good. Lexi is a little bit jealous of the girls and Jesse. And I think it's just you wouldn't think that someone who's a model who's like so young and has dated Brooklyn Beckham and has like dated all these like celebrity I think she dated another celebrity's kid too. Um, like you wouldn't think that they'd be so insecure, but, insecurity can get to anyone. All those people have been in the house. Sierra, Amanda, Lindsay, they all have this prior relationship with Jesse, and so I think that she's not so much jealous of, like, them physically, but she's just jealous of that, like, connection that he has with them where they can already, like, joke and stuff, and she's just, like, that pretty girl so far to him. And I think that that's where her jealousy is coming from. She's saying it's because of the boobs, because she doesn't have as big of boobs as Lindsay, who's pregnant. Obviously, they're gonna be big. And Sierra's just, I mean, no one can no one can compare to Sierra. Come on. And so I think that it's not she's saying it's like the boobs. I don't have boobs. I don't have big boobs, but I think it's that she's jealous of like this comfortability that Jessie has with the other girls. But she doesn't know that, so she can't really say that. That's a me thing. I have this hair that's sticking out that's bugging me. Okay. It's oh, it's a baby hair. Just kidding. I didn't lick it. Um, she is yeah. So, I think that's what her insecurity is, and so she was, like, telling Jesse, "Well, like, you all the girls keep saying that, like, you're a boob guy, Jesse's a boob guy," and Jesse's like, "I'm not a boob guy, I'm an ass man." It's like, why do we have to be like, you don't have to be a thing man, you could just I appreciate women, mind, body, soul. Done. We don't have to be an ass man, a boob man, an arm man. Let's see. A wrist. I think I have, like, nice, like, skinny wrists. Can someone be, like, a wrist man, maybe? Um, then there's Wes, who is kind of s hooking up with girls, but doing it away so Sierra can't see it. I respect that. I think he's playing it safe by just taking that part out of the equation, which is good, Wes. Keep doing that, but now he's just kind of boring. He comes in for a one-liner every so often for some uh comic relief, but that's pretty much all we're getting from Wes. And then there's Amarul, and he brought another girl home, another girl that was able to escape the cameras. How is he doing this? Like for years, these people are always caught on camera. If not their face, at least their body. And this is 2 weekends where he's brought a girl home, and we literally have no idea what she looks like. It's kind of crazy because these people usually get caught. And Danielle, why is she I thought she was done. I thought she was off the show. I'm about to get heated. I thought that Danielle was out after last season. She did not need to be there. Um, even the season after the season before that, she didn't need to be there. She just gets in Lindsay's business and tries to pretend that she's a friend and doing it under the guise of like, "Well, I'm your best friend. I'm here to shoot it straight." But it's not. She's there to undercut Lindsay and everything Lindsay is saying. So like they're on the beach and Lindsay is like, "Oh yeah, like um I don't know his name, Trip. Trip doesn't live with me." And Danielle's like, "Wait, he doesn't live with you?" It's like, "Okay, calm down, Danielle." And they've only been together for a few months. And she's like, "No." And Lindsay explains it. And I mean, Lindsay this season is trying to get her shit together. She has a baby girl in her belly that she's trying to like nurture and do all the right things. And I know that when you have a baby and you're a new mom, you're and you've been like kind of a mess up in your life and gone off the rails and not always done thing right, you really are trying to focus on making sure that everything you do leading up is not going to like mess up your life, mess up your child. And I feel like Lindsay's trying to get all her ducks in a row. She doesn't want this guy to move in and affect her life and then have it not work out and then have her and her baby have to completely change their life. Why not just have Lindsay and her baby have their life, get their routine together, and then he can fit in with them, you know? Danielle, you're way off. And it's just like making the comments and like saying that she's being supportive, but she's not. I don't like it, and I feel like Danielle always does that, and it's like, she got mad at Lindsay and Carl when they were moving too fast and when they were moving in together, and now it's like, "Oh, well, you're not moving in with him," and Lindsay's like, "I don't have to move in with him, like, we're having this baby, we're doing what we wanna do, he lives very close, and I have it planned out," and if I was moving in with him, Danielle would've been like, "What? You're moving in with him already? You can't win. You can't win with this girl." Um, yeah, I'm glad Emerald ditched her. I'm just kidding, it was kinda mean, but she just is, like, the ultimate pick me girl. And even, like, the prior weeks, he's not coming to the thing. No, he's not coming, like, you knew that. You knew that he wasn't gonna be filming. Why are you being like, "Ah," on camera? Hmm. So, and then back to Paige and Craig. They go to dinner. They eat some, kangaroo on a skewer, and they start talking about real shit and start getting into real talk. Well, not start because they've been doing it all season. They've been doing it since they've got together. Everyone's like, "When are you gonna move? When are you gonna be together?" And Paige's career is like booming right now. She has a full tour with Giggly Squad. Um, and she's doing red carpets, she's doing Amazon Lives, she's doing, her talk show, like, in bed with Paige, and she's just getting busier and busier, and Craig is seeing his dream of marrying her, being a dad, living in Charleston, in the backyard, it's, like, slipping away, and he so they're, like, at this dinner, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to slow down eventually, like, if we're gonna have kids, you can't always be busy." And she's like, "Well, yeah, but right now this is what I want, and I'm I'm not really focused on having kids right now. That's not, like, my priority." She made a comment like, "I can't even get my eggs frozen." And Craig is just like, "Well, I didn't expect things to be on like, not on my terms," essentially is what he's saying, and I didn't expect to be in a relationship where I have to be so submissive and blah, 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 and it's like, you don't. You can go do your own thing, but this is what Paige wants, and Paige has always been, like, kind of like this. She's never said, "Yes, I'm gonna do this." She's always said, "Yeah, like, eventually, but not anytime soon." I don't think she's ever said anytime soon that she wanted to, like, settle down and have kids. And there's a difference between, like, talking about, like, eventually and, like, thinking about that future and being like, "Okay, let's, like, plan it." And I think she's in that, like, eventually stage, and Craig is in that, like, "Oh, let's start planning." And that doesn't they're just not on the same page, if you will. Um, but yeah, some of the comments that Craig makes, it's like, okay, you clearly thought that from the way that Paige looks and how bubbly she is in the beginning, I think he thought that she would get this, like, work thing out of her system, and that's cute, and then you'll come home and live with me in Charleston, and I think he thought that was gonna be a lot sooner than later. I don't think he thought that she was gonna blow up like that, and this is what she's wanted, this is what she said she wanted. Why would you wanna be with someone who didn't even think that you were gonna get, like, that big? I don't know. I'm reading into it. Craig is all over my TV. He's on Summer House, he's on Southern Charm. I just watched Southern Charm this morning, and he is just, like, in a mood in his backyard with Austin. I'll cover Southern Charm next week, but he is just, like, even when he gets what he wants and that he's all there, he's still not happy. He wanted to have Paige and Austin chilling in his backyard, shooting the shit. Even then, he's still not happy. So, yeah, Craig's a liar. That should be, James Kennedy's new remix. Craig's a liar. Um, that's just how I feel. I'm glad him and Paige are done. Oh, but I did wanna say that I'm gonna end it on this note because this is the first week without, traders. I'm having traders withdrawals, but I've been thinking about some cast members that I think would be good, and I think it would be great. One, we have to have Craig on it. Like, I think Craig is a must, 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 and I think it would be fun if you had Paige on it too, or even, like, Hannah. That could be fun. Kyle and oh, no, Kyle was already on it. But yeah, I think Craig has to be on the Traders next season. I think it's inevitable. Um, I had a couple others that I was thinking, and I'll name them, but if you guys have any thoughts on who would make a good Traders, person, then let me know, and I think that they might be in talks with people now because they should be filming soon. Last year, they filmed around May, June, because Sierra had just left the Traders place to come on Summer House, and Summer House started 4th of July weekend. So, yeah, probably, like, that May, June that they would film, which would mean that they'd have to start casting now, get everyone all set to go. So, yeah, I think Craig for sure, maybe Lisa Vanderpump. That could be good, and that's all I have so far. But yeah, drop your comment. It's Friday. Let's listen to some good music. Hopefully, we get some good weather. Go watch Running Point on Netflix and let's come back and chat about it on Monday. I will finish it, so we'll have some stuff to catch up on. Yeah, have a good weekend everyone and have a good day. Bye.